Do you live in this yellow shaded region here? Or what about this yellow shaded region here? Or even the green? And even more importantly, this orange shaded region you see here. Well, if you do, we have the potential every single day over the next 3 or 4 days to see some intense severe weather. And so I recommend that you guys stick around in this video because we're going to discuss this and bring you guys the latest so that you can stay safe and informed out there. So please consider liking this video if you like it, subscribe to this channel if you find the content helpful, and more importantly, please leave a comment down below where in the world you're watching from. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So starting off here, I'm going to discuss these outlooks a little bit, break them down. So this is our day one outlook. This is for today, as in right now. There's storms ongoing already. Here's what we got going on right now. Our radar is mostly clear, but there are some storms in this area. More storms are expected to fire later. So this is what we got going on right now. And you can break this down by type. There's a 5% risk of a tornado in this yellow shaded region here in Missouri and Arkansas. Just a locally higher chance for tornadoes. A very large 2% risk extends from the Waco areas of Texas all the way up to southern Indiana. So not anything crazy with that. 15% chance of seeing wind gust over 50 to 55 knots. And our hail outlook looks like this. 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch in diameter or larger, and this extends all the way down to the US-Canada borders. Very large risks there. And then we move on to day two. This is our outlook for tomorrow, or Thursday. We have a very large marginal risk from the US-Mexico border all the way up into Iowa and Nebraska. Very large risk here. And in the middle of this, we have this yellow risk, and we can break this down by type as well. There is a 5% risk of a tornado in the Oklahoma and northern Texas vicinity, kind of in the panhandles here. And what this black hashing means is that the Storm Prediction Center is indicating there will be potential for these storms to be more intense and have higher coverage. That's what these really mean. The Storm Prediction Center has just started doing this, so we're going to have to see how they look and how they work over the next couple of months, but I like this change. And we can break this down by wind as well. Here's our wind risk. Extends pretty far. 15% risk of winds exceeding 50 knots or greater. And then our hail risk looks like this, very large, same criteria. And then we can go to day three. This is a very big deal, guys. We have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk in areas of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri here. And this, we have no idea what type of severe weather this will be. I think we'll have the potential for all hazards on this day. This is our Friday outlook. We have a chance for severe weather down to the San Antonio areas of Texas and all the way up to the Great Lakes. I mean, a huge risk. And all we know now is that this risk is just a 30% chance of seeing some sort of severe weather within 25 miles of any given location in any of this red area you see, obviously surrounded by lower criteria. Anywhere you see this black hashing means the Storm Prediction Center thinks that these storms could be more intense or have more coverage. So moving on from that, let's show you a little bit of what's going on here, why we're seeing this. So this is starting off tomorrow morning. And what you're looking at is about 18,000 feet up in the sky. This is our main weather pattern that drives the weather we see here on the ground. So areas of this yellow here are stronger winds aloft, and these can bring in the chance for severe weather. They can bring in more warm, moist Gulf air. They can bring in cold air. So they're just our main weather driving pattern here. So starting off tomorrow morning here, and you will see, I'm going to take you through a few days of this, how this trough over here in the western U.S., denoted by these black lines kind of dipping down, and these stronger winds here, move towards the central areas of the United States. So we get into, let's just say, through Thursday, this will support our severe weather threat over here in the panhandles, right? Glancing below from this flow, but the flow really gets going. We get into Friday and Friday evening. This is a scary look, guys. I'm not going to hold back any punches. This looks very intense and even dangerous. Very robust and textbook looking shortwave trough here that is extremely negatively tilted. Neutral would be if it's like this. Positive would be if it's like this. It is the opposite. It is this one right here that we look for when looking at the highest and severe threats. And you can see that this area of stronger winds aloft is crossing through these regions that we were talking about. And even though that some of these areas are not fully inside of that glancing blow can be all you need to really get that severe weather going. And so you move on from that, and this will move up into the northern areas of the country, bringing with it more warm, moist Gulf air. So let's move on from that and show you this moisture here. So this is starting off tomorrow morning, right about now. And so you'll see areas of blue are higher dew points, and darker green, you really need these blues to be over your area to get severe weather, for the most part. So this is getting into tomorrow afternoon. This will support that severe threat over here in the panhandles, right? And then watch what it does. Make our way into Friday afternoon. This spikes well up into these areas, into southern Iowa here. I mean, look at it. It gets even 60 dew points into the lower areas of Michigan. A very large, quote unquote, warm sector right here. But these values of dew points in the mid 60s across this area is just crazy to me. Especially for this time of year. This will set the stage for possibly intense. I think we're going to have intense severe weather on Friday. And we can move this on. And you can see how there's a boundary here between very dry air, 30s dew points and 60s dew points, separated only by a very thin boundary. That means that boundary is very strong, and we have to watch for that. So moving past that, what is this actually going to look like reflected to the surface? Well, this is the European model's idea at this, starting off tomorrow morning. So you'll see, if you focus down in this area, I'm just going to circle it right here and just leave that circle right there. Let's get this off your screen. So let's move on here. You'll just see a lot of yellows and oranges and greens in this area in several different locations. So right there, working through the western areas of that circle, that's our risk for tomorrow, right? And then we get into Friday. What do we see? This is a scary look. I mean, this is the European model right here. I'm going to denote this a little bit for you guys. The European model depicts a surface low and Boeing cold front that has isolated supercells off of it, like these. That is not a good look at all. I'm not saying that to scare you guys. I do want you guys to understand that I don't profit off of scaring you. I really don't. It doesn't help me to do that. So we move on here, and there's just multiple areas of severe weather that we have to watch. And so let's get out towards the 11th and 12th when we're watching that time frame. Something happens. Again, I'm telling you guys, something happens on the 11th and 12th that we have to watch. Whether it's only severe weather, only winter weather, or a little bit of both, something happens. But this would be an expansive area of possible severe weather here. I mean, even for the eastern seaboard. But there's snow here. It's cold, guys. There's something about this piece of energy that looks cold to me. This is getting into the morning of the 12th. Now, I do want to see. I want you guys to note that, and I'll circle this as well. These areas of the country up here, I want you to watch that there are just several areas of snow that work their way in. So there's one right there. One rolls in behind it, right? It's a big system with severe weather to the south. And then there's even other ones that mixed in there. I mean, look at this is the end of the Euro. This is March the 18th, and we have like snow down here in southern Missouri, northern Arkansas. I mean, that's a almost weird look there. But moving past that, this is the last run. This looks like some sort of severe threat for the deep south. That's not a forecast 360 hours away. So let's move past this. What about the GFS model? Well, here's what it shows. Move on here. And it shows our chances for severe weather all of these days. This is getting into Friday evening, and you have this moisture here. This would likely be severe weather. We have snow to the north. There's coldness on the northern side of this, to put it simply. 10th, 11th, 12th. So we do have something. The GFS prints out some sort of winter weather scenario as an ice storm for the Northeast. Is that a forecast? No. Is that final? No. But we're getting closer. So we have little increases in confidence. And again, I want you to watch the northern tier of the country. As we get past that, both models print out several, what it looks like, reasonably sized high impact storm systems on both ends, severe weather and snow on one side or another. And this is getting to the 18th or so, and points onward. So this is getting into the 20th. So after that, do we quiet down? Possibly. But I think we have, towards the middle of the month, some sort of pattern change and several days of extended cooler than average temperatures in the northern plains. This could lead to snow, or this could just lead to even more active weather with the dynamics changing. So I'll have to watch. So let me show you a high resolution look at tomorrow's severe threat here. So here we go. This is the RRFSA model. I'm giving it a chance to kind of prove itself. So this is starting off tomorrow morning, and as we work our way through the day tomorrow, this is getting into about 8 p.m. Eastern time, so 7 p.m. Central. And so these are late bloomers, if you will, but they do happen. And these clusters of storms could do just about anything. I mean, these could produce hail, damaging winds, and of course, an isolated tornado or two. And the Storm Prediction Center is noting that these tornadoes could even be on the more intense side. So we'll have to watch that. Maybe even up to EF2 intensity. So I have to watch. And I mean, I do also want to watch these storms as they move up to the north. These could also be intense up in this area. Maybe some more chance for hail up there because it's a little bit further to the north and it's a bit cooler. Now, do we have more than this? Let's move into tomorrow or the Friday outlook. This is the Friday at about 2 p.m. Move on here. And yeah, I mean, the RRFSA prints this one out as a few different things. Guys, this is not a good look. And this is exactly why they've issued this outlook. There's kind of a broken band of storms, and you have isolated supercells out ahead of it. And that's exactly why they have issued this outlook. And we have a few more frames here. It looks to turn into kind of a line. But look, there's isolated storms down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area too. Not final, but I think that the RFSA might be latching onto a pretty reasonable idea here. And I mean, there's even isolated activity down here in Arkansas as we get into the morning of this coming Saturday. So a lot to discuss there. So let's discuss some AI model guidance, right? And give our AI models a chance to tell us what they think is going to happen. This is getting into Thursday, tomorrow morning. And we'll have to watch. This is our moisture right here. Overnight, Thursday into Friday, these kind of late bloomer storms, that's them right there. So our AI model guidance agrees. And then this is our thing for Saturday. Right here, our Friday evening into Saturday morning. So an overnight threat possible. But look at all of this moisture down here. AI model guidance is printing this out. It's also agreeing that there could be snow on the northern side of it. And this is the European AI. Pretty reliable AI model here, as we've kind of figured out so far, at least. So let's get a little bit further here. This is the 8th and 9th. And then something happens. Our AI model guidance, I'm telling you guys, it does not stop. Once it locks onto an idea, it does not give it up. So you can see, let's take this frame right here, overnight on the 11th into the 12th. This black line that I'm drawing here is essentially the freezing line aloft. I'm following that bold blue line. So all of this is cold air, all up here. And there's obviously a lot of moisture denoted by this green. So there could be winter weather on the backside if the moisture lines up right. Let's go a little bit further. This is what I'm talking about. After this, if we have clipper systems that dive through, they could produce snow for the northern tier of the country. AI model guidance agrees on that. So it looks like a reasonable event for the Northeast, 10 days away. Not final, not a forecast, but it's there. What about the GFS AI model? Well, starting off tomorrow morning here, moving on. So let's not get ahead of ourselves here. This is for tomorrow's threat. So the AI GFS is not printing out as much for tomorrow. It may be onto something, maybe not. And then here it does. It shows that moisture and this right in that enhanced risk area. I mean, like perfectly inside that enhanced risk area with the darkest of these greens, the most intense moisture. And so it lines up. The AI GFS agrees, drops down to the south, and then we get towards the 10th and 11th. And the AI GFS does not hold back any punches, showing some sort of major storm of all types. So you got severe weather to the south, snow to the north, sleet, freezing rain in between. So big system. And again, our AI model guidance just does not give up once it locks onto something. And we'll have to see if it's right. Maybe it is. Maybe it's onto something. The clipper dives in after that, a little bit further to the north. And you can see how far south this bold blue line is. It means that there's a lot of cold air residing up here to the north. So explaining what's going on here and our pattern and why this is happening. Well, this is starting off right about now into tomorrow morning. So let's talk about this. We get into right here. And this is for tomorrow evening. We have this distinct area of lower pressure. And if you don't know what you're looking at, this is 500 millibars. Again, several miles up in the sky, 18,000 feet. And what you're looking at, the actual product you're looking at, is troughing and ridging. So areas of blue like this, that's a trough of lower pressure. It brings cold air. And like this right here is a ridge spiking up to the north, bringing warmer than average temperatures areas below it. So we move on here. Let's get this out of the way. And so there is this area. Let's back up and make sure we know what we're talking about here. This trough of lower pressure over the southern Rockies is what's setting the stage for Thursday's severe threat. And you can see it's very subtle. I'm talking about very subtle. Right in this area. See how these black lines kind of kink a little bit? That's just indicating a very, very subtle impulse and wave of energy in this area. So let's move past that. That low pressure kind of amplifies. So is there some major signal on the European ensemble for a distinct shortwave? No. But very subtly, you can see it right here. And that's its jet streak. So you can see it. Our AI model guidance supports it. It doesn't go crazy with it. I think that's a good thing because not AI, ensemble guidance like this is supposed to be conservative. But that low pressure drops way down into the Pacific Ocean and spins there for several days. And then you can see more blue start to enter the picture as we get into the 10th and the 11th. That's bringing that cooler air in. These phase together at some point in some way or another, getting into the 11th and bringing a shot of cold air with it. This will set the stage for a high impact winter storm and severe storm if it happens. And then you see how that blue just it stays around for the northern tier of the country, maybe even amplifying for the East Coast as we get towards the 17th and 18th. We'll look at the way temperatures respond to this here in just a second. Right at the end of this run, the pattern that this supports to me is a lot of warmth out west, and then the northeast up here would be kind of cooler, maybe even as far south as the Carolinas and Georgia. Just a general idea there. So how do temperatures respond? This is, let's move out a few more. This is starting off about tomorrow morning. You'll see a lot of red. Areas of red indicate above average temperatures. Blue is below. And you'll just see a lot of both, but predominantly you'll see red. And this is getting into Friday evening, just very warm. This will set the stage for the severe threat. There could even be areas way up here in Illinois and Indiana that could even reach the 70s and 80s. I'm talking about well above average temperatures for this time of year. And then the real pattern change comes about the 10th and the 11th and the 12th. You can see more blue enters the picture. Are we talking crazy cold temperatures? Likely not, but it's definitely a sudden and surprising threat there. And it drops down all the way to the southern Appalachian Mountains here. And there's a lot of blue that hangs around for these northern areas. And then again, kind of right at the end of this run, it does support what the pattern supports is the west warming up a lot. And then the northeast and even some of the eastern seaboard states starting to cool down a little bit. So the exact opposite of the pattern we've been seeing. Pattern flips everywhere, guys. So how does this actually affect people? Well, this is what I like to call our impacts map. I'll show you the latest run here. It just ran. So these totals from run to run go up and down, but the same general idea is here every single time, guys. And what you're looking at is total moisture that falls between now and the next 260 hours, so just over 10 days, 10, 11, 12 days from now. And you can see in areas of Arkansas and Texas, the kind of Arklatex, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas here, Missouri, Louisiana, all these areas, no need to name places. All of this right here is just a lot of moisture. Many inches of moisture, even upwards of 7 or 8 inches in the Arklatex. And this will set the stage for flooding, possibly. But what this really shows more than anything else to me is that we'll just have potential to see more activity in this region. That's all that this really means to me. No need to get overly detailed here, but I mean you can zoom in here, and there's just certain areas that can get quite a lot of rain, and this is beneficial to some and harmful for others. So it's hard to make a final say about whether it's good or not, but it's the truth nevertheless. And snow works the same way. I'm going to show you guys the latest run because it just finished here. So I want you guys to see, it might be a little bit hard to see states here, but let's get everything in frame. The Dakotas here, and Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan, you guys to the next 10 to 12 days have potential to see like half a foot of snow. And that's because this is now getting within range of just passing this pattern flip. It's getting into the 15th of March here. And if the Northeast remains active, there's a lot of snow to be had on the northern side of these systems, mainly once we get to and past the middle of the month. I expect that this signal would light up even more as we move past. So this might be a little choppy here. I'm going to show you the European ensemble for total snowfall through the end of the run, which is 360 hours. And it shows the same thing, guys. The northern plains, the northern tier of the country is still in for snow. We're not done yet. So definitely a lot of activity. But all of that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and tune in tomorrow morning for your local forecast. I'll have that out for you guys. We'll discuss severe weather for the day and all that good stuff. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.